Hi and welcome everyone. I am Friar Tuck. Thank you for joining me in this week's hobo tutorial. Ah, crap, it's about to start raining. Okay, so I finally got my cup of coffee and I figured I'd do the hobo tutorial this week. All right, so I'm not sure exactly how to title it. I'll figure it out by the end of the video. Watch. But anyways, what I'm going to be talking about today is something that I got from a subscriber about a month ago or so, saying that he had a friend that was in Ohio and they were dealing with the same thing that I was dealing with in Tallahassee, which was a city that was overrun by BLM. Well, I'm in Cincinnati and the Kentucky area because it's right there on the border of Ohio and Kentucky. So during the day I hang out in Cincinnati, Ohio, and at night I sleep in Kentucky, in Covington, Kentucky. All right, and you know, I was totally prepared for this to be a BLM city. But you know, I've had a unique experience being here. And I figured I would share that with you to kind of teach you a little bit of a lesson on regions, because I'm kind of learning some things, you know, along the way, some things that I never really paid much attention to because I just traveled. I didn't really think about anything. I just traveled. But now, you know, with the way things are going, it's a lot more precision based as far as where you choose to go. Okay, so I've gotten here, and the weird thing is that the black ladies are nicer than the white ladies. The white ladies is like, man, you're a bitch. You know, it's like I seriously, I have an issue with the white ladies here. But the black ladies, man, they are kind, they are courteous, they are thoughtful, they think about us. You know, they consider us, you know, as far as sorry guys, got my cup of coffee, trying to switch hands. You know, they're really thoughtful. So I was expecting this to be a BLM city, and it's not. Quite frankly, it's the opposite. It's woke white women city. You know, it's Karen city, because the lady that's a manager, she, because you gotta look at it this way. You know, you're having a roof over your head, being able to be in a shelter, especially with the elements and the weather and stuff like that. If somebody is trying to take that away from you because they're on a power trip or an ego trip, well, then that's abuse and that's terrorizing you, and that's wrong. And being homeless, this is something that you are going to have to deal with on a regular basis. There's no way around it, as much as you would like there to be. Okay. With that being said, you know, one of the things that I'm noticing is that the attitude of the homeless, or the attitude towards the homeless, and the way the homeless are here in the Cincinnati, Kentucky area. Okay, so, and this is what's teaching me an important lesson. Hold on, I'm gonna sit down, take my bag off, and put my coffee down. Excuse me for a second, guys. All right. Oh, my arms feel better. All right. So anyways, one of the things that I'm learning is that the attitude of a city determines what happens to the homeless population. Now, I'm not sure, you know, if one, you know, it's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg. And, you know, we can sit back and have a debate what came first. But, you know, here they really offer the right services to the homeless. You know, just like in San Francisco, I have a bed where I can sleep every night. Now, I'm not getting a 90-day bed like I did in San Francisco, but I do have access to a bed every night. There are multiple shelters in the area to be able to take care of the homeless population, so that the only way that you sleep outside is if you want to, or, you know, for whatever reason. It just, that's the way it is. It's the way it was in San Francisco too. You know, unless you were just like unruly and you couldn't get along with others, or you just really didn't like a shelter, you couldn't, you know, if you weren't in a shelter, it wasn't, it was your fault, not theirs, okay? Because the services are there. Not only that, I get breakfast in the morning, you know, which is just a bowl of cereal and a cup of coffee, which I'm okay with that. I like that. I mean, it keeps me from gaining weight. I've gained about 20 pounds so far, and I'm not really happy about it. I've gained a little bit over 20 pounds. But then, you know, during lunch, there's a feeding place where I can go and I can get a decent meal. Now, they treat you with dignity. They treat you with respect. They treat you like you're a human being instead of being subhuman, there to just, you know, take a drain on the system. Because this is something that I've noticed north to south, and, you know, just also it has to do with the areas in which you choose to go in. And That is, in certain areas, they will treat you like you're a human being. In other areas, they treat you like you're the shit that they scraped off their shoe. And they can be mean and cruel and vindictive towards you. And the culture accepts it because, oh, well, you can't support yourself, so, beggars can't be choosers. But, here's the thing. You're a human being. You deserve to be treated like a human being. That means being polite and respectful. Now, if you get unruly and disrespectful, then, you get that. But some people, like this lady last night, she's like, because I asked about laundry and the shower. I was like, well, is it too late to do laundry in the shower? No, you need to either go in the day room or you need to go in, you need to go outside in the smoking area. So I'm like, well, because I was walking towards the bathroom. I'm like, so I can't use the bathroom? And she's like, don't be a smartass. Well, you know what? You're being a totalitarian bitch, and so therefore, you're telling me I can only go to these two places, so I'm presuming that if I can't go to the laundry room, that I probably can't go to the bathroom as well. Just because this lady, her and I have been butting heads since the day I got here, because she's one of those that has an ego trip. She reminds me of all the bad things that I've seen in my travels as far as the way that homeless are treated, and she's in management. Now, the subordinates, man, kind, courteous, you make sure you take care of, very polite, hey, you okay, things like that. And I truly, truly appreciate that. But her, man, we butt heads, because she's like, how much money do you make? I'm like, that's not your business. That's my business. And so, oh, well, we're done here. Well, I'm supposed to have signed a contract and some other things, but I haven't even done that because she went on an ego trip, and she wakes me up at 11 o'clock at night, after 2 days of no sleep, and what do you expect from me? I couldn't read her mind. I'm not telepathic, so how did I know what she wanted? I thought that it was time to get up and out the door for the next morning. I didn't know it was 11 o'clock at night, and to being woke up. But anyways, the way that this works, and the way that you should really look at it is you should start looking, if you're going to travel to an area, look at the services. Because the thing is if the homeless population is being taken care of, then that means that that the tolerance and the acceptance of the homeless population is there. Because here's the thing, in let's say somewhere like Chattanooga, there's 2 shelters. There's not enough shelter for the people. There's not enough food for the people. There's if they find out that you're homeless, they can discriminate against you, and it's socially acceptable. Okay, and so therefore they want to complain about the homeless problem while not doing anything to help fix it. Versus this area, where they see the homeless problem, and so therefore they are putting forth the effort and the resources to at least be able to deal with it. Because there are some people that are just, they're too far broken. They can't go get a job. They need to be on Social Security, and even if they are on Social Security, they just don't have the capacity to be able to take care of themselves. Or they just can't afford the rent that's around here because they don't get a lot to begin with. Okay. So just because you get on Social Security doesn't mean you're not going to be homeless. It means that you're just going to be comfortably homeless, and so, this is something to really consider when you're thinking about moving to, when you're thinking about relocating to a region, is to look into the resources to see what the food houses are like. You might even want to call ahead to the shelter and be like, hey, I'm looking at staying here. Now, I started off in Cincinnati, and the lady was just a tool. I asked her if they had any food lines, and she looked at me like I was stupid. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about, food lines. It's like, are you nuts? Are you you're working the front desk. You are supposed to be like a point of contact for people that are coming in. I'm like, hey, I'm traveling. I'm trying to find a place where I want to settle down. Oh, well, we're looking for long-term people. You're just gonna, we don't want travelers. You're just gonna have to go over to Kentucky. And you know what? It turned out to be the best thing for me. I like it over here. It's nicer, it's prettier, and the tolerance is the same on either side of the river. It doesn't really matter, and I've got free reign to go do what I want. People aren't automatically saying, oh, he's got a backpack, he must be homeless. And if they do think, oh, well, he must be homeless, they see how I'm dressed, how I carry myself, and they will respect me because I'm being respectful towards them. And so this brings me back to the question that was asked to me in the beginning, which is the person saying that they had a friend that was in Ohio. Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the person's attitude and the way that they come from. If you are a douchebag, then you're going to be treated like a douchebag. If you are entitled and a whiny little snowflake, well, you're going to be treated like an entitled snowflake. And so therefore, what you put out is what you get back. So I'm wondering if that person was creating their own problems, or if that person was truly dealing with what I dealt with in Tallahassee. And, you know, part of what I was dealing with in Tallahassee is I saw that things were wrong, and I stood up for it. And therefore, when I stood up, they didn't like it, because people don't stand up for themselves. You know, when you're in this situation, people look at you and go, oh, well, you know, you have no leg to stand on. You should be grateful for anything that you get. And that's not necessarily true. You know, we are all Americans. We are all born here. We all have the right to opportunity. Okay, that means you got to go earn your opportunity. You got to go work for your opportunity. But to have so many intentional stumbling blocks put in your way, that is un-American, in my opinion. You know, there's been plenty of people who have, including actors, who were homeless for a while, but then they're some of the wealthiest actors there are. They're some of the best actors. I think Jim Carrey and a lot of them were homeless at one point in time. And because they were in an environment that allowed them to take advantage of opportunities instead of discriminating against them, they were able to have the success that they were seeking. And this is the difference between regions and areas. And down south, they have no respect for the homeless. As far as you're concerned, they would rather just put you in a camp and euthanize you. Versus up north, where they look at it and go, okay, you're down on your luck. Now pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get back to work. Now both have their thing. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, guys, I hope that this was something fruitful for you. I hope you learned something. You know, a lot of this has to do with you and your attitude. It also has to do with the area in which you're in. And, you know, this might help you do some research. Call ahead, find out what resources are available before you relocate to another area, because that may be the difference between success and not success, happiness and not happiness, and, you know, peace and unpeace. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.